Hello, I'm back reviewing Black Clover Volume 15. This one's just the conclusion of the Royal Knight exam, and also the beginning of them fighting the Eye of the Midnight Sun. Well, the first few chapters has the final fight between Asta and Langris, and then the last couple of fights between the other squads, where Asta ends up defeating Langris, but the battle comes to a draw because both of the crystals get destroyed at the same time. And then it was Sora does the same stuff he was doing before, like criticizing everybody, but now he includes himself. Like, his development kind of feels similar to, like, Klaus for me, where Klaus meets Asta, and then within, like, an hour and a half, he suddenly changes his mind about him and, like, is his friend, even though they've never met before, and he had these very, like, extreme views, like, about himself, and had kind of, like, the same views as all of the other nobles, where Sora, he also changes pretty quickly, but his, I kind of like it a little bit better because we did get, like, his backstory with his father, and so he knew that Magic Knight could, like, act this way, but because it almost seems like he wanted to believe that Magic Knight could be like his dad, so I can kind of, I don't know, see him changing after him, like, meeting Asta and Mimosa. I don't know, but his development, like I said, was also pretty quickly. Like, it's been like an hour, and now he's, like, completely changed his views about Magic Knights. But yeah, it's also revealed that Sora is a black ball. That at some point, I don't know how long, within, like, I don't know, like a year or two, I don't know, he ended up meeting Yami and joining the Black Bulls, and he kind of came in through, like, a back door, like Noelle did, where Noelle mostly got into the Black Bulls because Noelle, like, got her in there without having to take the entrance exams. And so I think he's, like, a pretty recent enough member because, like, no one knows he's a member. You know, he's one of, like, the two people connected to the Black Bulls. I get to the other guy in a second, who, like, the other members don't know anything about except for Yami. And he's, like, so never went to the hideout, because it seems like I'm assuming most people know where the hideouts of the squad cell. And he decided to, like, join despite the fact that he doesn't like the Magic Knight that much. Maybe he likes Zami because he's so different than the other Knight captains, and that's why he decided to join the Black Bulls. Like, Yami seems to understand people pretty well because he understood, like, Asta's potential and offered him a spot in the Black Bulls when none of the other captains did, and maybe he saw something in Sora and, like, somehow convinced him to join, because he also convinced, like, Ghost to join, and Ghost is the type of person who, like, listens to anybody. And like I said in the previous video, this one reveals that Julius knew his father, and he was the one, and Julius seems to know that Sora is a member of the Black Bulls. Like, I'm assuming Yami has to, like, I don't know, fill out paperwork or something for whenever a new member joins. And Sora ends up leaving, but then the battles continue a bit before this, where Uno reveals a new spell, which is, like, Spirit Dive, where he and Sil kind of, like, combine into one. Like, this actually, like really like this picture. Well, I think this is the first time we get the Spirit Dive, or, like, Spirit Assimilation. Just, like, Sil's, because I don't think Fauna did that with Salamander, that I recall. she was able to like use his magic, but I don't think she like combined with him. And like, well, Asta kind of does that with the demon in his grimoire, where they kind of like combine into one. Where Asta gets like the demon horns, and I think he gets like the one ring, but they don't call it like a demon dive or anything. Because so far they haven't gone into too much detail about the spirits or like demons. Well, like so far the spirits that we know of are the full like elemental ones, I believe. Where it's like I think so far the only spirits we know of are Syl and then Salamander, and we don't see too much of either of them. Like Syl is always around, but I don't think she does that much unless Yuno's around. Like, and then Salamander just kind of like dipped out after Fauna got defeated. Like they haven't showed up in a while. So like, unless pops up with Syl, we don't really get that much with the spirits. And I don't think they mentioned too many more of them. Like I think they said there's the elemental spirits like Syl and Salamander, but no other like kinds of spirits have been mentioned. And then is going up against Ril's team, where Ril summons like this. I think it's supposed to be like a harpy fish thing. Yeah. Where Syl and Yuno end up seeing like a huge blast of wind. Well, like Syl's harpy dragon lady shoots like a energy beam. But he ends up being so powerful, Ril, that he ends up breaking his own crystal. Like, basically causing Yuno's team to win. Like, without barely even doing anything, like, because, like, Ril's got in the crystal and, like, the harpy dragon's, like, surrounding it, kinda. But this only causes Asta to become dejected over the fact that he can't fight where he's being healed by like Mimosa in another room, and they're kind of like watching the fight, and that kind of concludes the Royal Knights exam. Like I think it's only like 3 volumes roughly. Like I think it started in volume 13, 14, and 15. Yeah, I think the Royal Knights exam is like a pretty decent arc. It's basically just like a tournament arc for the most part. People get chosen. Where it's Asta, Noelle, Magna, and Sora from the Black Bulls get yeah. No, it's not Magna, it's Asta, Noelle, Locke, and Sora, not Magna. Magna is mad that he didn't get chosen. So much that, once again, his glasses break and suck. Just like the Star Festival when the Black Bulls were revealed to be, I think it was number 2, like right behind the Golden Dawn in terms of like rank. And like Mary Leona ends up coming to like grab everyone. She just busts down the door, punches Asta in the face, sends him flying, sends Magna flying when she busts down the door, and has Zami trying to like get everybody out of there, calling her ferocious beast. And then she just gives him alcohol, which she claims isn't fit for human consumption, which Vanessa just grabs it. And Vanessa has her little cat sitting on her shoulder like Nero does to Asta's head. Like, yes, he named the cat Rogue. And then meows like a cat, like a regular cat. I love that. And then Noelle, she kind of gives a little brief summary of kind of like what's happened during the Royal Knights exam, saying they found the captain that Sora had impersonated, discovered in town. I don't think they mentioned what town he was in. I'm assuming it's maybe somewhere near the capital. And that Fenrir's still alive, but he's still in the hospital. Langris was taken away to be questioned, and then she comments how Langris felt like his power felt similar to Fido and Fauna, saying about that Arthur had different powers, so I'm assuming it's similar to like the third eye magic that they had. Well, like once they gained the third eye, like their power like increased or like changed. Like Fido went from having just regular beast magic to like mythical beast. And so Mereoleona takes everyone to the hideout and not to the hideout. Mereoleona takes everyone to the, I think it's the capital, to the royal castle, and that when Sor was revealed to be a black bull. And then we cut over to Raya, where he gets a flashback. I think he's the one who's been having some of the flashbacks in the story about the elves and kind of like their past. Well, this one reveals linked before he had like the facial tattoos, about to marry a woman whose name I don't think we have, but they refer to her as a princess, and also reveals that she's pregnant. Like, it's not said how long ago this was, and then he wakes up saying that like the awakening must be near. So after that there isn't that much more information, and like this stuff with the elves, I wish we had more information on, because the only time we got like a significant amount of information was the Witch Queen, where after the Forest of Witches, she takes everybody back to her castle, and she starts talking about the elves. And so she was saying that she thought that the Eye of the Midnight Sun might be descended from the elves. I think it was like 500 years ago, or like a couple centuries ago. Talking about how they were trying to live like in peace with the humans, that I think the humans had attacked them, and then the elves tried to defend themselves, and like the leader summoned the demon as like a last resort, I believe it was, to try and protect his people. And so she believed that the Eye of the Midnight Sun were descended from them and was trying to get some sort of like justice for what happened. And it was also revealed that like the Clover Kingdom, like the afterwards, they had like twisted the story to make it seem like the elves were demons when they weren't. Like they refer to them as like a demonic race trying to like destroy them, but from the information we have, they weren't trying to attack humans or anything like that. Like, the only time any significant information, like I said, about the elves came from the Witch Queen, and it seems like nobody has tried to research the elves. Like, there has to be some more information about them. Like, I mostly trust the Witch Queen, because so far, like I said, she's the only one who gave anything, and I don't see her having an ulterior motive to lie about like what happened. Like, she's probably like the only one who knows like what happened, because like the Forest of Witches is so like isolated from the other kingdoms, and I think she's also probably like the oldest person in the world who's like human. But it kind of seems like after we feel the elves and the kind of like the backstory, no one tried to look into the history to try and like confirm what she said, or kind of like what's going on with the elves now. So I kind of wish that we at least like had one chapter of like someone going to like the royal library to try and gather information, or they're trying to find out who like leaked this. Because like Fenrol gathered the information, and then it was just kind of like, eh. So yeah, I think that's probably like my main gripe thinking about it. Because we got that information like volume 11, I think it was. So it's been like almost 4 volumes learning that, and like nothing's happened, and they're like already attacking the base. Yeah, so like after they pick the knights, the royal knights attack the hideout that apparently Nocel found while he was on a scouting mission. No, it wasn't a scouting mission. They were investigating a dungeon when they learned it was their hideout. But then Marilena's like, oh, why were you there in person, Captain? So it's like apparently he was out searching for the hideout on his own time. And like he doesn't even like deny it. He's just standing there quietly with like ... and then enough idle talk. And then has the one guy, he was from the capital, I can't remember his name, but he's the one who does the stone magic. Where he was the same one who did the model of the capital during the invasion. And so while they were attacking, the Eye of the Midnight Sun, the Rady, Sally, and Foltos, the spatial magic guy from the capital, they end up attacking the Black Bull's hideout at the same time. Where there's only 3 people left there, Ghost, Grey, and Golden. Well, Magna, Vanessa, Charmy, and Yami went out somewhere, they don't say where. And so Ghost goes to leave, and then he says something that's gonna get brought back up soon, is that the base changes a lot, and then right then they're attacked by Rady's zombies. And this is also like the first time Golden's really done anything in the story, where it's revealed that he has poison magic, and that his family studies like curses, like both of which caused him to not have many friends because people found him like creepy and terrifying when he really isn't. Like he just wants friends, and he was in a similar position as Grey, where people found her transformation magic off-putting because he kept transforming into like other people to like hide her true appearance. And so it's only been like almost 15 volumes, and Golden finally does something. We finally learn stuff about him. Like I really did feel bad because he was like the one Black Bull kind of like left where like nothing was really done with him. Like even Grey got stuff during the underwater temple, and like they just kind of like forgot about him. And so then we also get at least like a bit more with Grey's magic. Well, both Sally and Ghost seem surprised that she's able to like transform other stuff, which was brought up during the underwater temple, where Grey transformed like, I think it was like a stone or a rock or something into food to convince Zami that someone was trying to steal it to get her to like wake up and fight. Well, she ends up transforming Sally's like jelly salamander into crystal, so like Ghost can break it with his mirror magic. But he does his refrain spell, where Sally seems interested and Ghost seems surprised, which I think does a bit more to imply that her magic isn't regular transformation magic, because I think Ghost even said that his non-transformation magic mostly works with transforming the user, not other things. Where Grey can like shapeshift, but also like transform things into other things, which like implies her magic really isn't transformation magic, but maybe some like off-branch. But and then Folters, he goes inside the base to try and find the magic stone that they got from the Saucy Village. Well, at first I thought it was the one from the underwater temple, but it's not. It's from Saucy Village, because I looked, it was the little like crescent moon with the stars on it. And for some reason it's in Oster's room, just sitting on his windowsill. And it is Oster's room because he has the nest for Nero and that little like stuffed toy I think he bought during the beginning when Julius was kind of like spying on them, and then he like shapeshifted into that old woman to see like Asha's magic. Well, Vanessa, Noel, and Asha went into like kind of like the black marketplace in the nearby town. So like, why didn't they have this stone somewhere better protected if they know the Eye of the Midnight Sun are trying to find it? Unless they just didn't think anybody would attack the base and protect it. But there is someone else protecting the base, and I'm getting to the other guy now, and his name is Henry. Where he lives inside the mansion, and it's revealed that this mansion actually belongs to Henry. Where at some point after starting the Black Bulls, Yami found this old abandoned mansion, or what he thought was abandoned, and finds Henry lying in bed sick. He has a magical disease that like takes magic from people in order to like sustain himself, and Yami thought that this place was haunted, and he convinces Henry to let the Black Bull stay here and be able to like take their magic or something. And so Henry agrees, and it's revealed that Henry's been living here the whole time. Presumably, the Black Bulls have been living here for years, and this is the first time that he's ever talked to them. Where, because they all think he's just some ghost. Like, he shows up right after Rades summons another one of his wraiths, number 0, Michael Caesar, where he summoned him. That he attacks them the first time, they get wounded, and they goes to attack them a second time, and there's just like this alarm, just going emergency. Henry shows up, and Gil was just like, what are you? Why are you in our hideout? And then Gray goes, we didn't get to hear his name because you talked to him, because he talks like really slowly. Sally goes, I heard there was only 3 people here today. And then Ghost goes to back to think, people are saying that there's a ghost in this hideout. But then Golden somehow knows that he's a living person. Like, I don't know how, but it's kind of funny he can tell. Like, all 3 of them seem confused that Henry's there. And they all thought he was a ghost. Like, it's like they've been here for like years, I'm assuming. Like, I don't think it's ever mentioned how long the Black Bulls have been active. So far, like, it's probably been like a couple months since Ashtar joined, so probably like, I don't know, like, they've been around for what, like 2 or 3 years at this point. And Henry's never tried to talk to them or like interact with them or like told them his name. Like, Yami never told them that there's another guy living here. I mean, he also never told them about Zoro, but like, at least with Henry, there was a bit of foreshadowing he was around, because in like Volume 1, Asta walks out of his room and there's like a pillow there that he said wasn't there before. Like, it's like 5 inches away from his door. But from that, I don't think it was ever mentioned that the hideout changes. Like, unless it's changed, I just wasn't paying attention. But it's so weird that Henry's never tried to interact with everyone, even just to be like, hi, my name's Henry, this is my mansion. Like, I can't interact with you guys that much because of this disease, so I'll just stay away. But he just decided to never talk to them or be around them or even just, I don't know, send notes or something. And apparently there were rumors for a while of a ghost living there, but this is like the first time anybody's ever mentioned a ghost. And like, I don't think when like Yami and like Fenrir were seen in Volume 1, I don't think anybody said, oh, it's the Black Bulls, the hideout's haunted. I kind of like Henry's design. Like, he looks like a guy who doesn't get out much. Like, he's just wearing, like, a simple shirt and pants, and, like, his hair is so huge, he has birds living in it. And his power, as I briefly mentioned, is he's able to change the layout of the building. I don't know if he can do it to other places or just this place because it's his house, but he can rearrange it however he wants. Where he does it to escape one of the zombie spells, and does it to protect the other ones when the wraith tries to attack him. We has like part of the hideout like go, and then like fall on top of him will still be connected to the building. And he ends up trying to change the layout on the inside so that Voltos can't get the magic stone. And so Ghost kind of compares it to the game masters, the head priests magic from the underwater temple, where like the head priest could like control the layout of like the temple and like made things like appear and stuff inside there. And so well, the manga ends with them still fighting the three, where Henry makes the hideout into like this huge like bowl-shaped like house. Well, the rest of the volume before this is the Royal Knights going into the hideout, and now we see more of like Raya, where Asta and Sora end up with Mario Leona on like a team because like everybody like splits off into groups of like 3 or 4 maybe, and Mario Leona and Raya end up fighting, while Asta and Sora just kind of like stand back and watch. This is one of my other like kind of like favorite moments where the 3 of them are walking through the base, and at first they don't notice anything weird, but then there's like another Asta, and instead of being like surprised that there's someone else there, like someone like copied Asta's form, she's more mad that he multiplied without asking for her permission, and they're trying to figure out who's the real one. So she just like throws a fireball at him. Like, it's nothing. Only for Asta, the real one, to pull out his sword and like cut it. And she's like, oh yeah, that's the real one. And it reveals to be Raya, where he like copied Asta's appearance, heals himself, and he already has like the 3rd eye, which like amplifies his power. And he's the one who uses copy magic, where he can like copy anyone's spell. I think as long as he like, I don't know, like touches the grimoire or something, he can copy however many spells he wants, I think. But Mario Leona ends up being so strong that she like breaks all of his spells and gives him such like a intense fight that he can barely keep up, and she's been compared to like Fido. She's like been compared to like a ferocious like beast or like a lioness. It's like a particularly like a lion or a lioness, since all 3 siblings have the word Leo somewhere in the name. And like even that chapter then introduces her, we like refer to her as like the undefeated lioness. And like this one refers that like she lives out in like the woods most of the time, and she doesn't like going into the cities. Meanwhile, like Sora seems kind of like, I don't know, terrified of her, while Asta just wants to like copy her fighting abilities and like use it into his own style. And I do think like there's a limitation to his copying, because he copies Asta's broadsword. Well, it looks the same thing as his own sword, but Mario Leona just like punches it really hard and it breaks in half. where she says it's just a physical copy. It looks like he couldn't imitate anti-magic, which kind of makes sense in a way. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It just seems like anti-magic is one of the things you really can't copy. Because, like, I don't know, it's like Osho's the only one who can use anti-magic because he has no magic. And it seems like he can only copy the sword itself, not the properties it has. Because, like, the broadsword, it can cut through magic or, like, deflect it. With the other one, I think it was something like it can bow people's magic and then, like, throw it in, like, a slash attack. And, like, Raya also copies, like, Yami's katana at one point. Like, sort of copy. It's like Yami always carries around a katana with him, but then he cloaks in, like, darkness to fight. And he tries to attack, but I don't think it's an actually, like physical, but I don't think it's a physical katana like Yami's is. I think it's just like a blade-shaped darkness thing. And there's also another limitation to his magic where he can only use like one copied spell at a time. Where he uses the dark cloaked black blade that he used against Licht. And then he like gets rid of it to do the light swords of conviction, which is one of the spells that Licht used. He would like let that go to do another spell. And it's also refused to use one of the spells that the Gildry uses, the invisible magic. To like go invisible, and like the spell, I think it passes through him or she somehow misses. And then Ashta wonders how he got that spell. Because it's also revealed that he was there that day when they were filling the trailer, but so far it's not been revealed who he transformed into. Despite the fact that Raya has the third eye, which increases magic, it is able to like throw like a whole bunch of powerful spells at her, and they say he's powerful too. Like, she just keeps like destroying all of his spells, and like I said, they compare her to Fido. And like I can kind of see the similarities. Well, they're probably like the two physically strongest characters in the series. Where Mereoleona, instead of kind of like staying behind while she like throws the spells at people, she like cloaks like her fists and stuff like in magic to like punch people. Like very similar to like Fido, where Fido gives like up close and personal with people, and well, like people like Noelle, they'll like summon stuff to like attack for them. Well, Mereoleona like gets as close as possible. Well, I kind of like the fact that like Mereoleona's gonna have a bit more screen time because I really like her as a character. I think she's pretty funny. Like, she just, like, doesn't care what people think of her. And in the beginning of kind of, like, this whole thing, there's a few parallels. And kind of, like, the panel layout with Nocelle and Mereoleona. Well, both of them are there to try and get, like, some sort of, like, revenge against the Hour of the Midnight Sun for what they did to Frigolian, because he's still in a coma at this point. Along with Hammond, they're somewhere, and Morsa notices some writing on the wall, like literally. Well, I'm assuming it's like some sort of elfing. They don't mention what it is. Like, I'm assuming that it's elfin because of the connection to the elves. And they also can hear something like the writing just keeps going down. But yeah, I think that's sort of everything for now. Like, most of what I wanted from this is just So I'm going more into the elves because, like I said, they haven't brought them up that much. Not since the Witch Queen brought them up, and also there was a bit of a mystery that still gets brought up. Like it's very like brief, but you only see it. Like it gets brought back up in this one where when Luke met Ghost, he seemed to know who he was, even though Ghost has like no idea who he is. And then Sally brings up when she attacked that, you know, they're not meant to kill him, I think it was. During Rhea's flashback, there's a guy over here in the corner who looks kind of like Ghost. And there's another guy who looks like Fido. And I think she looks kind of like Fauna to me. Like, it can't be Ghost because we kind of know his backstory and, like, sort of like the timeline where he and Maria were, like, orphaned as children. And then I think they were, like, specifically taken in by, like, the church. And then Ghost spent some time, like, stealing and committing other crimes to the point where he ended up in, like, prison. Like, I don't think it gets brought up that much, but, like, he was in prison for a while. Like, I think when Yami met him, he was in the prison uniform. I think he just escaped. And then he joined the Black Bulls. I think it couldn't be that long ago. But it's like, what's going on with this? But yeah, so far it's not explain like what's really going on because there is some questions I think that need to be answered. Like, is this Ghost? What's he doing here? Is it just some guy that kind of looks like him? I think we're gonna be getting some answers soon because like the Eye of the Midnight Sun plot is coming up pretty quickly. So yeah, it does feel like the fight with Luke's gonna be coming up soon. So yeah, I think that's mostly everything for now. Peace.